Hello, people. Welcome back to another news update on the global crisis right now. The coronavirus pandemic has kind of gone to the back burner for now as the George Floyd protests are spreading across the world, most of which are peaceful and are well attended. However, a few are not as well attended and are more violent. In some places, fires are being started and cars are being driven into crowds, mainly by anti-Black Lives Matter racists. And most of the protesters, the Black Lives Matter protesters, have simply had enough with this oppressive system and are willing to finally get rid of it. 400 years of oppression against African Americans, and it's finally, those who have oppressed are finally getting what they deserve. Places like Seattle and Spokane, they have been hit hard by these protests. Police in both of those cities have been acting very violently towards protesters who have become increasingly angry due to the amount of policing that's going on. And in Washington, D.C., thousands of people are gathering, which are peaceful, but they're surrounding the White House, and they're on the streets. We cannot ignore what's going on anymore. We can't push it. We can't kick the can down the road anymore. We have to deal with this problem of injustice and violence against African Americans. It's something that needs to be dealt with right here, right now. Some white people are complaining about the violence and saying that it's all Black Lives Matter and Antifa's fault, and they're the ones causing the violence, and it's completely unjustified. But you know what? White people have oppressed African Americans for centuries. They've enslaved them, lynched them, tortured them for so long, pushed them to the bottom of the barrel, and then they're getting surprised when they don't just lie down and accept it. What is wrong with these people? Are they just so oblivious that they cannot see the most obvious, blatant thing? No, that's not even mentioning how peaceful most of them are. And we're still attacking the peaceful protesters. Rubber bullets and tear gas were fired on peaceful protesters a couple days back so that Trump could have a photo op outside a church that he hasn't visited in 3 years. Trump seems to think that a fascist police state is what law and order is. That's not even close to true. And he says he's afraid of looking like a coward, yet he's hiding in his bunker from peaceful protesters. Really? Does he even think when he does stuff? Does he just do stuff without even considering the fact that it might go against what he says? We keep seeing this again and again. He keeps making ridiculous statements and contradicting even them. It's ridiculous. But karma kind of came back and bit him in the butt when he held up the Bible to try and appease Christians, yet that act lost him a lot of his Christian base. So it looks like he's finally realizing that he's not invincible. Or not realizing it, since he doesn't realize anything, but at least something is happening to him that is not good. Maybe he'll finally start to understand the fact that law and order doesn't come from police brutality, but that's a fantasy world compared to what we're living in. Anyways, I hope all of you have a safe rest of your week. Unless, of course, you're still one of the people that supports Trump. In which case, have a lousy week. But I will see you all next week. And hopefully I will be restarting the Mystery Dome very shortly.